While the world of ChatGPT, OpenAI, language models, and generative models in general have been dominating our thoughts over the past year, it's important to understand that there is an existing landscape for AI. If we're going to understand the impact of these new systems, their functionality and use, we have to understand what came before. This is particularly the case given that AI has become such an integral part of our lives and our work. We encounter AI systems all the time in search, recommendation systems, personal assistants, even while texting. The question is, how did this happen? How did AI get everywhere? How did we go from no AI to everything includes AI? The answer is data. As with humans, the technologies of AI are driven by the machine's ability to learn from the past, to characterize the present, and then predict the future. Nearly all of the work we see today in AI is based upon the success we've seen in machine learning. And then why today? Why has it happened over the past 15 years? Well, to learn you need data. For years, we did not have enough data for our systems to learn effectively. But then that changed. Companies decided that we need information. And while information, real information that is hard to gather, data was a little easier. So we went on a binge and started gathering data, and we entered the era of big data. We gathered, and continue to gather, massive amounts of data. Big data succeeded. Unfortunately, if you look at how we use that data, we only use microscopic amounts of it. So big data succeeded, and at the same time, big data failed. We had data, but we couldn't figure out what to do with it. Data wasn't the solution to all of our problems. In fact, data became the problem. How do we deal with it? How do we manage it? How do we utilize it? Ironically, the problem empowered the solution, and the solution was AI. AI systems that could use data to learn. As we started using it, we figured out ways in which we could create new functionalities, improve what we already had, and completely transform entire industries. Creation? For years, roboticists tried to craft the rule sets for self-driving cars with limited results. Then Google, while collecting images for Street View, decided to put sensors on both the outside and the inside of the cars they were using. In doing so, they gathered millions of miles of data, capturing the conditions outside of their cars and the responses made by the drivers inside. They were then able to use this sub-second data to train systems and have them learn the condition response rules needed to drive. There's more to be done still, but that condition response data drove our ability to create the first round of condition response rules. We also realized that we could track activity to improve our systems. With data obtained by tracking supply chains, factories could become more efficient and learn how to shift to just-in-time performance. Inside those factories, we began to use sensors to track the performance of machines so that we could predict, based upon learning from the past, when particular machines might be about to fail. With those predictions, we could step in and replace machines before failures happened, avoiding downtimes. And then we saw how this data could transform entire industries. Using personal data, insurance companies have been able to build predictive models based on our behaviors. These predictions can be used to provide advice to customers as to how to avoid accidents by changing their behaviors. Rather than paying out after the fact, insurance as an industry is shifting its focus towards advice and accident avoidance, saving us from ourselves. From cars to factories to insurance, all of this is driven by data and learning. But there's much more. Statistical machine learning allows us to predict sales, performance, and stock prices based on well-structured data that we use to anticipate the future. The technologies of deep learning let us move from pixels and audio data to faces that unlock our phones and voices that let us ask systems to do tasks for us. Evidence-based systems, such as IBM Watson, allow the machine to go beyond rigid reasoning to a world in which we can collect evidence and draw conclusions in a way that looks more human than machine. And recommendation systems that have been with us for years now support the ability of Amazon, Netflix, and LinkedIn to look at our behavior and suggest new products, media, and connections. As we look at the emerging world of language models and generative AI, we need to see that these technologies are part of a larger ecosystem. We need to see how these new technologies fit into this ecosystem and how they can be integrated with and guided by other technologies. The trick is to see how these technologies can be integrated together to serve our needs and our goals. Thank you, and stay safe.